This video is sponsored by Brilliant, but more about them later in the video. You know, sometimes you start the day and you're just not feeling it. You wake up at 12, then you stay in bed a little bit, scroll, start eating some chips, some ice cream, and then you start binge watching some anime. Then you look up. Oh shit, it's now 3 p.m. At this point, you have two choices. The first choice is that you decide that it's too late and the day is ruined. So you lay back down, keep eating chips, and then you slowly degenerate more and more and hate yourself. Or your second option is to get your shit together. Yeah, I know. Much easier said than done. Okay, so later in the video, we're going to talk about how to actually get your shit together. But right now, I just want to make an important distinction. It's not the action of laying there, eating chips, eating ice cream, watching your favorite anime. Like, that is okay if you choose it to be what you want to be doing at that time. Like, sometimes you just choose to do that because it's enjoyable and it's fun and you want to do that. And it's great because you relax and you don't feel any guilt. What is worse, and probably most of the time, is that you want to be productive, you want to be doing something, but then you kind of like just end up being in that state and you feel super guilty, and it's such a shame because you're watching this amazing anime and you can't really even enjoy it because there's like that nagging feeling just always there. You guys know what I'm saying, like the naggy feeling of guilt. And it's almost like the longer it is that you spend like that, the harder it is to actually get up and stop being like that. Analogy I would use to describe this is like behavioral inertia. Things in motion tend to stay in motion, and things at rest tend to stay at rest. And you know, you've been at rest, like you haven't actually started your day yet, so you've been at rest the entire time, so you tend to stay at rest. And it's actually worse than inertia because the longer it is that you stay at rest, the harder it is to actually get started. Okay, so let's talk about solution. How to get your shit together when you're at this point that you have half wasted your day and you want to save it. Go outside, leave your house. Even better, pack all of your stuff, go to the library. If you don't have a library nearby, that's cool. There's a lot of other options. Go to a coffee shop, go to a bubble tea place. Those tend to be open later than coffee shops. If you live in a condo and apartment, you might be lucky enough to have like a working space there. So if there is, you can also go to that. Hotels are great because there's usually like a nice bar or like a restaurant that's open pretty late, or you can also sneak into their common space and try your best to look like you belong. Movie theaters as well, they're usually open pretty late and you can like kind of hang out in the food area and try not to be too suspicious looking. Gyms usually tend to have like some sort of open space where you can do stuff as well. The kind of like the downside to that is it smells kind of bad, but it's also motivation because you're at the gym and you would like be more motivated to actually go to the gym seeing everybody there. One of my favorite hobbies is actually finding places to sit where I can work and not get kicked out, which has actually happened multiple times. Like the one time that I sat on the lawn at the LinkedIn office and then they kicked me off. But that is another story. But anyways, choose one of these places, pack things up if you can, and go to one of these places. Change your physical environment. The reason is because you have to forcefully set yourself into motion. If you stay in the same environment, it's so much harder to pull away from the grip of degeneration, like the gravity of degeneration that you've surrounded yourself with. Go somewhere where it's nice and clean and there's other people there as well. And trust me, just that shift makes it so much easier to actually start your day. So you made that first step now, you went outside with your stuff and then you found somewhere that you can sit. Now, how to actually get to work. First of all, if you're in a restaurant, a bar, a coffee shop like that, go order something. It's a little rude if you just sit there. But after you do that, what I like to do is bring my physical timer, but you can use your phones. Just set a timer for 5 minutes. This is to have like a very concrete, low barrier of entry thing for you to get started on working something, starting with just 5 minutes of work. If you have one thing to do, then, you know, directly do that. That's the thing that you should be working on. But say if you have like a list of things that you need to get done, there's like two different options. The first one is that you start with the hardest one, and the second one is that you start with the easiest one. I generally like to start with the easiest thing if I've already half wasted my day because I find it like more motivating and easier to get into it. If I haven't already half wasted my day, then I would go for starting with the hardest one first and kind of like eat the frog, as Mark Twain or popularized by Brian Tracy would say. Okay, so say you're like me, you started with the easiest thing first. So easiest thing, only 5 minutes. You now set yourself into motion, and things in motion tend to stay in motion. Once you work on that 5 minutes on the easy thing, if you haven't finished finished already, then, put that for 25 minutes or 50 minutes if you're feeling like. Usually if you're ready to start working on something, you get into the stage, it's so much easier to keep on working. And after I finished my easiest task, I would have felt a lot better because like I actually accomplished something today. And then I would move on to the other tasks that I have to do on my list. And there you go. Do that for a while, do some Pomodoros, get some stuff done, feel much better about yourself, and then go reward yourself. Go to the gym. Okay, maybe the gym isn't like super rewarding, but like, go to the gym, exercise, watch a movie if you're in a movie theater, get another boba if you're in a boba shop. And congratulations, you have managed to stop your degeneration and not waste the other half of your day. If you're also interested in developing a continuous studying habit, but you don't know what it is that you should be studying in particular, I personally think that learning how to code is one of the most useful skills that I have ever learned. Although of course I'm a little bit biased. But the reason why it's so helpful is that if I have an idea and I want to do something, I'm able to do it myself. Or like if there's a particular thing that I'm interested in, like for example, I want to invest in something because there's high inflation, whatever, I would do an analysis based upon this hypothesis. Hashtag not financial advice. But coding is such a useful tool and I highly recommend that you learn it if you haven't already. And if you're interested in learning how to code and the concepts of computer science, I highly recommend that you check out Brilliant. Brilliant is an interactive online platform that teaches you fun hands-on lessons in math, science, and computer science for all abilities and levels. Brilliant teaches you how to problem solve and understand concepts deeply. I'm currently supplementing the course I'm taking right now on building a personal blockchain with Brilliant's crypto course that offers a deeper mathematical understanding of how blockchain and crypto technology works. You can get started for free and join the millions of people who are already learning on Brilliant. Head on over to this link and also linked in description. The first 200 people that sign up will get 20% off the annual membership. All right. Back to the video. Now I have one last section where I'm going to talk about how to not get into the state to begin with, like the state of wasting half your day. There's 3 things that I find really helps me a lot, excluding like the general good habits like cleaning your room, hydration, eating properly, sleeping properly, things like that, like things that you should be doing anyway. The first one is to pre-schedule these degeneration days. What I like to do is one time a week, just set out one day in which you have decided, like you have chosen that you're going to degenerate and watch anime and eat junk food and, just lay there. You've chosen to do so. So it's like guilt-free and you feel really good and you get it out of your system. The second thing I like to do is just to get out of the house immediately. Like after you wake up, do your thing, shower, whatever, and then just get out of the house. Usually this helps the most when I'm on what I call like a lazy streak, where it's just like a streak of days in which I feel really unproductive. I just like force myself to get out. The third thing I do to avoid half wasting a day is to schedule something in the morning that forces you to be productive. For me, that's usually my study routine on live streams. Like I start my day by learning something for 2 hours and that just sets the tone for the rest of the day and I feel much more productive and I feel really good afterwards. And let me just throw in a bonus one. I've been trying intermittent fasting. I have tried to intermittent fast many times previously, but I think I'm actually doing a much better job this time. It's not exactly directly preventative, but by intermittent fasting until 12 and try to be productive and stuff to like distract myself from the hunger. And my energy levels are usually higher if I haven't eaten as well. So that has helped. All right, I hope this video is helpful for you. Also leave in the comments if you have any techniques or hacks to save a half wasted day. Also, one more thing I'm super curious about. Let me know what your vice is as well. Your procrastination vice in the comments. Mine is definitely anime and junk food. It's just like, that's what I degenerate into. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video or live stream.